This is lesson 54, substitution. So you're given two equations. And basically, if you had only one equation, you couldn't solve it, because when you have two different letters in an equation, there are an infinite number of solutions. So we want to find out one solution that works from both, and we use a method called substitution. Since x equals negative 3y plus 11, where there's an x in the other equation, we can write negative 3y plus 11 since they're equal. So I substitute for x down here. I substitute using parentheses. So I get 2, instead of x, I write negative 3y plus 11 minus y equals 1. The minus y equals 1 is the rest of the equation. And now I just solve. I use the distributive property. 2 times negative 3y is negative 6y. 2 times 11 is 22. Minus y equals 1. So I simplify. I get negative 7y equals 1 minus 22. Negative 7y equals negative 21. I divide both sides by negative 7. Y equals 3. So your answer is y equals 3, but I also have to find the x value. So I go all the way back up to this one. See, x equals negative 3y plus 11. And since I know y equals 3, over here I do it. Instead of y, I write 3. So x equals negative 3 times 3 plus 11. X equals negative 9 plus 11. X equals 2. So my answer is x equals 2, y equals 3, or I can write it as an ordered pair, 2, 3. You always write the x value first, the y second. They go in alphabetical order. Now you can also check your work by plugging this answer into an equation up at the top and make sure it works. For example, here's this: if x equals 2, you get 2 times 2 is 4, and y equals 3, you get 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 equals 1. I know I'm right. I'm just going to do the second one. There are 3 more after this in your book, but you can do it. So they tell you that 2x plus 3y equals negative 13, and y equals x minus 6. So this time we're substituting for the y instead of the x. So when I substitute, remember to use parentheses. So I get 2x plus 3. Now instead of the y, I write x minus 6 equals negative 13. I use the distributive property. 2x plus 3x minus 18 equals negative 13. 5x equals negative 13 plus 18. 5x equals 5. I can divide both sides by 5, and I get x equals 1. Now x equals 1, I go back up, and I know x equals 1, so instead of x, I can write 1. So over here, I get y equals 1 minus 6, y equals negative 5. So my answer is x equals 1 and y equals negative 5. Or I can write it as an ordered pair, 1, negative 5. I can also check my work. I go back to the original. I let x equal 1. 2 times 1 is 2. I let y equal negative 5. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. 2 plus negative 15 is negative 13. Negative 13 equals negative 13. I know I'm right. Good luck. FaceTime me, Richard McPherson, if you have any questions. Bye.